Madison, thank you for joining me today on Press Day.
Thank you for having me.
Exciting times. We have the film. I watched it last night. I liked it. I like the whole suspense and everything, especially if you want to like after you're done watching the movie, go on Google, find some more info on it. It takes you to a lot of creepy places.
For sure, it opens a rabbit hole.
Right. What was your initial reaction when you first read the script for this, and what drew you to the role of Annie?
Yeah, I mean, something of this nature, being in the true crime thriller space with a really complex, challenging character, had been on my bucket list for a really long time. So I think, and even just getting the audition, I was really excited about the prospect of doing this role. And then when I got deeper into it, and once I was attached to the film, um, I really fell in love with the aspect of the story that it's told from Annie's perspective, and it's really about Annie and what she's going through and feeling in all aspects of her life rather than following the killer, which I think is often the route that these kind of films take. So I thought that was a
Mm,
unique aspect of the film, and I just loved it.
right. With Annie's journey too, like how did you prepare to step into like her shoes, like emotionally and like mentally for this character?
Yeah, there were a lot of conversations between me and our wonderful director, Warren Skeels, before production even began. Pretty much as soon as I signed on to the project, we would Zoom on like at least a weekly basis leading up to the film and just have conversations about really nitpicking the script and pinpointing these important emotional moments for Annie and tracking her entire journey throughout. So
Yeah.
that way, on the day of filming, I could always have that in the back of my head of where she is in the story and what exactly is she feeling. And I think just really focusing on that helped me to get into it.
Mm. There's a lot of this, the film takes place in the 70s and it hits a lot of themes also, like, like fear and so on. Like, how do you think Annie's story would resonate like with the audience today?
I think it'll resonate really well. I think it might be a little bit trippy to people who like me who grew up in my generation,
Yeah.
them not having cell phones and technology, and there's
Yeah.
no tracking apps. There's no, let me quickly snap a picture of this and report it. So I think that that might be a little bit of a mind trip to people as it was to me getting into the character. But I think that her story will still resonate because all of these dangers are still completely relevant. I mean, if
Yeah.
it, more relevant now than ever, really. Even though we do have this new technology, it's a double-edged sword, right? It's, you know, with Uber and getting into cars with strangers,
Right.
DoorDash, and all of these things that are so great, even meeting people online. It's great in one sense, but it still hones that sense of danger in another.
Mm. You mentioned Warren's skills before earlier. What was the best advice he gave you to bring Annie to life in her story?
Hmm. One thing we talked about a lot because Warren had conversations with the real Annie
Yeah.
was able to sort of let me in on the things that she said and how she was feeling. One of the main things we talked about is keeping Annie's innocence, especially in the
Mm.
beginning of the film. Um, she sort of feels the need to over exaggerate a little bit to warrant some attention, and it ends up, you know, biting her in the end of the film.
Yeah.
But that was one aspect that I had to dig a little bit for. And Warren really helped me to land in a place that felt honest as far as how innocent she was and her innocence in being brought up in a small town where crime was really never considered an issue for the average person.
I can see that. Last question. What are you hoping for the audience gets out of this film when they tune in? What's the one thing you're hoping you guys nail?
Well, I hope that they're gripping they're gripping the edge of their seat. I hope that we do a good job keeping them entertained and interested. I think the message that I would love for people to get from this is just to believe people, believe women,
Mm,
believe these young girls and what they're
right.
telling you. And then additionally, if no one believes you, keep speaking out for yourself.
Mm,
Keep keep working to find someone who will believe you. Don't give up on that aspect.
mm. Madison, I want to thank you for giving me a few minutes. Good luck with the film. I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Thank you so much.